the new Falcon one-person bivvy tent from Highlander Outdoors. Let's check it out. What the hell is that? It's got 1,200 lumens, so it's pretty bright. More like a pump action to me. Camera on the front. That just clicks into place. Bug out one, calling home base. Good. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for taking the time out to tune in and check the channel out and watch the videos. So yeah, today we're talking about shelter to go along with the bug out bag theme. You obviously need shelter. We talked a little bit about first area shelter, which is maybe your waterproof coat or jacket. The next sort of shelter, if you're going to stay overnight somewhere, is shelter yourself from all the elements under cover. Could be a basher, could be a tent, could be a hammock, could even be some sort of one-man bivvy. So this is what we're going to look at today. So full disclosure, I've been given this by Highlander Outdoors to try out and review, and I've used it a few times, and I thought, right, let's do a video on it. Now, believe it or not, there are people out there who watch the videos, not a huge amount, but there are people out there who watch the videos and are yet to subscribe to the channel. So if you are one of those people who like the content, like watching the videos, and you're not a subscriber, please think about subscribing. It's free to do so, and if you hit the notification bell, you will be alerted for any new content that comes out. Plus, giving a like and subscribe helps the channel grow and spread the word, hopefully. Right, let's get back to the video. Yeah, so Highlander Outdoors, UK company, sent me this brand new Falcon one-person bivvy tent, and they wanted me to review it and try it out. So I have done. I've taken it out a few times to try out in all types of weather, and today we're going to take a closer look at it. So what is a bivvy tent? Well, it's a small one-person tent, basically. You might have heard about a bivvy bag, which is basically just a large bag you get yourself and your gonk bag into, your DOS bag, sleeping bag, and that keeps the rain off, or should do anyway. Then you can get a hoop bivvy, like a Dutch Army hoop bivvy, which has a little bit more room. And this is, I suppose, something similar. So it's halfway between a small one-person tent and a bivvy bag. That's how I put it. So what we'll do, we'll get it out, behave yourselves, set it up, show you all around it, and then obviously talk about its features and go through its plus points and minus points. Okay, sound like a plan? So straight off the bat, as you can see, it's small, it's lightweight. It's about 1 kilogram in weight, so it's really lightweight. Good for obviously a bug out bag, or if you're going off on a long trek and you don't want to be carrying too much weight. The size of it, this is roughly packed, right? I haven't really done a good job of it, but I'll put all the dimensions and specifications there if anybody's interested, and I'll put them in the description below. Right, but this has got the poles in it. Now when I packed it, when I had it in my bag, I packed the poles separately, right, and that allows you for this then to be a lot more compact. Plus it's just easier to pack in the bag that way. So it's a single skin bivvy bag, and it's got 4,000 hydrostatic head, I think that's what the terminology is. So it's pretty waterproof. Bloody dog, go on. So as I'll see later, it's got like a mesh front for ventilation. It's got a few poles for setting it out. So it's got an inbuilt ground layer, which is a little bit thicker than the fly material. And all the material is fire retardant as well, which obviously helps if you're cooking and you're camping out. And as you see in a minute, it's really quick and easy to set up. And it comes complete, as you can see, in its own little dry bag, a dry sack, which is good. So you're packing up in the rain, you put all your bivvy tent in this little dry sack, seal it up, and then that can go in your bag, knowing that none of your other kit is going to get wet. So good point, isn't it? And being a small one-person bivvy tent, you don't need a lot of room to set up. And as you can see, it's just a very small area, flat ground, no more than a metre wide between the trees. So yeah, a good point about having a small one-person bivvy tent just like this. You don't need a lot of room. And if you are into, say, stealth camping, or you're thinking of bugging out and all that sort of stuff, this is so small, compact, low to the ground, you can hide away without being seen. Right, without further ado then, let's get it out and set it up. it comes with its own lightweight aluminium pegs, 10 of. Just peg them out. Plus a couple of aluminium poles. Also got a little patch kit for any repairs. So there it is, set up. A matter of minutes to set it up. Really well constructed. So the back end has just got this one pole which connects into these little grommets, and then pegged out with a guideline, get nice and taut. Obviously peg each corner. Then very similar to the front. So you've got the pole at the front entrance, again into these grommets, pegged out, then using these guidelines to get it taut, pegged each corner again, and the guidelines are adjustable so you can get as tight as possible. So as I said, it's a single skin bivvy, designed to keep you obviously dry in the rain. The front entrance, as you can see, is a big old flap which covers the zip, the entrance, so you know no rain's going to get in there. If you just open up the flap, behave yourselves. As you can see, you've got this mesh material then, obviously to stop the midges and the bugs get in at night. Let's open that up. So both them flaps, I keep saying flaps, got two zippers on it, so you can obviously open them from both sides. But that's it, all opened up, and that's it inside. And as you can see, it doesn't take up much room. You can set this up with minimum amount of room. If you're out somewhere in the woodland or wherever you are, and you've only got a small area where you can pitch a tent or your sleeping system for the night, this sort of bivvy tent, takes up hardly any room at all. And like I said, if you did want to be stealth camping, right, or be unseen, you could position this obviously in the brash and the undergrowth a little bit, and you could be well hidden away from any prying eyes. Let's have a look inside. Here we are, loads of room. On a good day I'm 5'8", and my feet are just about near the bottom there now. So if you was 6 foot odd, you still got enough room, and there's plenty of headroom. And what I found when I used this on a recent trek, there's the video if you want to see it, there's enough room in the front of this bivvy bag to put my rucksack. So let's just zip up the front and have a look. Hopefully there's enough light in here to do it. There we go. So that's us in the bivvy tent, and all this area is obviously where I put my rucksack when I used it. So quite a bit of room to play with for a one-person bivvy tent. So we'll see a little bit of a clip now on when I used this in action on a walk I done, 50-kilometre walk from Llandudbrey back to Builth over a couple of days, and it will show you obviously it being used in the elements, in the wind and rain. There we are, I got all my kit in, and just enough room to put my bag in as well. Time that's zipped up, got enough room to put my bag in. So there's plenty of room in here. I've kept a little bit of the door open at the top, still got a bit of rain cover on top of that, just to let a bit of, you know, air out, because I don't know what it's going to be like condensation wise. So obviously it's the single skin, and it's starting to heat up in here a bit, so yeah, I might have to take my bloody warm coat off. Morning. It's wet. The bivvy held up. It wet and windy last night, and yeah, kept the rain out. The only problem, it does like to condensate, so to keep a little bit of a opening on the door, a little bit of moisture out. So there was home for the night. The Falcon one-man bivvy tent from Highlander. There's one issue with it, and that's a bit of condensation, but loads of room, easy to set up, and it kept me dry. So there we are, there was the bivvy tent in action. There was a few plus points and a few negative points, wasn't there? As there are with most kit. I haven't seen one bit of kit where it's totally positive. There's usually something that can be worked on, and that's the idea of kit reviews, where you take the kit and you know, you put it through its paces and you work out what works and what doesn't work. So that being said, let's take the bivvy tent down. It's not going to take long. Like I say, it's easy to set up and take down, and go through the final plus points and negative points. Well, there we are, all packed away. Put it back in the dry bag, but this time I haven't put the poles in it. You can see they're all packed down a lot smaller. Just to say, with the dry bag, it has got all the instructions if you ever need them. You know, if you need instructions to put that old tent up, you're in trouble, I think. So yeah, stuff sack, dry bag. So as you can see, you've got the poles being in here, the pegs in here. They will compress and pack down really small. So if you've got a bag, just pack these separately. You know, it's not a lot of room, but I just find it easier to pack that at the bottom of the bag and these just slide down somewhere. It's a more efficient way of using the space, I think. So there we are, there's the Falcon bivvy tent from Highlander Outdoors. Plus points then, easy to use, easy to set up, easy to take down, keeps you dry, extremely lightweight and compact, but still, as you can see, plenty of room to get you and your kit in there. I say I've had, you know, airbed in there, obviously the gonk bag, and all my kit for a 2-day hike in the bivvy tent. Another plus point, I suppose, the cost. You know, I think it needs about 80 odd pounds, so not a huge amount of money, so affordable, isn't it? Again, if you pack it correctly, small. So if you are thinking bug out bag, go bag, if it's a 48, 72 hour system and you need overhead cover for night, it's a good option. Doesn't need a lot of room, as you can see, to set it up. You know, it could be just a little bit of a nook and cranny in between a couple of hedgerows or trees or whatever it is. Long grass, anything, you know. You can set this up easily, especially if the weather's coming in, and it's low to the ground and you won't be seen. So there's the plus points. Obviously comes its own dry bag as well. That's another plus point, isn't it? You know, keeps everything neat, tidy and dry. So negative points in, as we've seen in the video, I suppose the biggest one was the condensation. Being a single skin shelter system, you know, you can have troubles with condensation, and that's not just this Falcon bivvy tent. That goes through a lot of tents out there. So what can you do to combat it? Well, as I showed in the video, is just leave that zip open at the top, let a bit of obviously moisture and warm air come out, and you still got that bit of a flap cover to cover the zipping out, so the rain won't come in. Now another negative point, and it's just my personal taste really, and that's the colour. You know, the green's all right, but I just prefer it if it's a little bit more of a military type green, you know, like a ranger green, or even this sort of olive green. It just blends better with natural environment, I think. I know these aren't built for military use and all that, but a lot of people out there who perhaps into wild camping, stealth camping, or, you know, like bug out bags, that sort of stuff, you don't really want to be seen, you know, not ideally anyway, isn't it? So this green, although it's perfectly fine, I just think it'd be better if it was more of a an olive type green colour, or, you know, military green. Now another point I'd say, even though it's got an inbuilt ground sheet which is slightly thicker than the main part of the body of the bivvy tent, it would be prone to puncturing, especially on rough ground like this. If you've got twigs and say thorns and stuff like that. Yes, it's relatively tough, but I think it needs to be a little bit tougher for that. On grass and all that sort of stuff, absolutely fine. All right, but if you're in a woodland environment, we've got all sorts of bloody sticks on the ground in it. Yes, you clear it as much as you could, but there's roots, there's thorns, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, if you had the ground sheet part of it a slightly bit thicker, that would help that. But apart from that, pretty good. Yeah, would it be something you put in your bug out bag, go bag? Well, that's up for another debate, up for another video, I suppose, isn't it? There's so many different shelter systems out there. But if you wanted a bivvy tent, it won't break the bank, and it'll do the job. Yeah, seriously, look at the Falcon Bivvy Tent from Highlander. So there we are, guys. There's the video. There's the review of the one-person bivvy tent from Highlander, the Falcon. If you haven't done so already, please think about liking and subscribing. Hit the notification bell. And if you do want to see some more videos, check that one out and that one. And I'll catch you again next time. All the best.